Hey. Microphone check. 1289. What's going on, guys? Happy Monday. Let's do this. Yo. Guys, what's going on? Welcome to hashtag TNT JoeFi Tech News that Jerome Ortega finds interesting while my head is very high. I am your host, Jerome Ortega. Today is Monday, September 7th. Today is Labor Day. For people who don't live in the States, Labor Day is a holiday here, and it's a holiday. That's all I can share about it. Welcome. I forgot to turn on my TV. Let me turn on my TV. Turning on the TV gives a little more like atmosphere, you know? All right, guys. How's it going? Hopefully everyone's weekend is doing well while people have the day off here in the States. I don't. I still have another busy day of work. I've been working pretty much since this morning, but nice to see everybody. Let me get into chat. Let me say hi. We do have quite a bit of stories. I don't really know what's like super interesting, but we'll talk about it. Deepak Murthy is first. Deepak, congratulations. You have won the honorary first position. Paul Hendricks is in here as well. There goes this week's goal. What was this week's goal? Also, I do apologize, guys. I am late today, later than usual. I have a perfectly good reason. I ran out of quarters today. I was doing laundry, and then I was like, shit, I can't dry my clothes. And then I had to go run out and like go to like 5 different stores until somebody gave me $2 in quarters to dry the rest of my clothes. And it came out of the laundry, whatever. There's a coin shortage because people aren't using coins and like whatever. Anyway, that's yeah. Darkman X2G. What's up, Jerome? What's going on, Darkman? How's it going, man? Welcome. Edgar H. I forgot today is Monday. LOL. I opened a beer in perfect timing, Jerome. Cheers. I wish I had a beer right now. I could go for a beer. Brian Lau, TNT JoeFi Labor Day edition. That is correct. Brian, what's going on? Welcome. Toba says, what up, guys? Thinking about the LG Wing. We're going to talk about the LG Wing a little bit. Get a couple thoughts, see what's going on with it. And then Darkman also said, Jerome, I sent you a DM on Twitter trying to get in the Discord. I'll get back. Like I said, I'll get to you today with that. Also, anybody who is a YouTube member, if you want to get into the private Discord, talk about tech, or whatever. There's an off-topic section. There's a whole section about fasting, and like I talk about fasting because, you know, like I've been on this fitness journey. Please let me know and I will give you the link to Discord. All right, let me scroll down here. Team Varai said new music is dope. Thank you, Team Varai. I liked it as well. Team Varai also says, man, I wish Moto would do something new with their design. We'll get into it. Black Skinhead. Oh, the song, it's reminiscent of it. But it's not that song exactly. But yeah, that's what I thought of too. David Moret is in here. Let go, David. What's going on, man? Have I seen you in here before? I don't know if I have. Welcome to the stream. Ted is in here as well. Good Labor Day to you, Jerome, and good Labor Day to you, dear sir, Ted. Harsh Mystery is in here. Harsh, hello, how you doing? And I finally made it early. I'm glad you did. I was late today, so perfect timing. Olympic Ass Eater is in here. I don't like Monday. I'm not the biggest fan of Monday either, but welcome, Olympic. Jay Mills in here as well. What's good, Rome? Not much, man. Hanging in there. Just trying to, you know, do my thing, talk some tech, do TNT Joe-Fi, make it entertaining. So let's go ahead and let's get started. The very first story that I have today, Lewis is in here, right? Lewis? Yes, Luis Juarez. What's up, Slim Jim? I don't know about that. I still got a little bit more to lose, but thank you, Lewis. Thank you. David says, I'm usually at work, but it's Labor Day. Perfect. I'm glad. People who are here from the US are in and watching today. So I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for even just like, if you do watch the replay or whatever, I appreciate that. So thank you, David. Thank you. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's start with the first story for today. We're going to talk about the Moto G9. Well, specifically the Moto G9 Plus. It was listed on Mobile Operator's website. Which one? Specs and price in tow. So the Motorola Moto G9 Plus launch date is still unknown, but given the sizable leak from a Slovakian telecom called Orange Slovensko, the announcement might not be too far off. The listing is still up at the time of writing, along with pricing, but it might be taken off soon. So it looks like these guys jumped the gun already, and they are listing the Moto G9 Plus, I guess, in a blue color. I mean, what other info do we have here? The phone seems to have a similar design to the Moto G8 Plus, but I've heard that this is a good upgrade from the G8 Plus. But with a squarish camera island on the back, there is this squarish island for you here, right here, and with an off-centered punch hole camera on the front. An off-centered punch hole camera? Is this not a punch hole camera on the left? Off-centered would be like right here or right here. With a left punch hole camera on the front. The display itself is quite big this time around, 6.8 inches with a 1080 by 2400 resolution. Still LCD though, the chipset remains unnamed, while the memory configuration, or at least one of the several, is 4 gigs of RAM with 128 gigs of internal storage. Micro SD card is supported, so external expandable storage is what you get. The specs don't look all that like amazing, but maybe it'll be a decent price. The battery powering up the device is a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, contradicting the earlier report of 4,700 milliamp hours more than a month ago. So here are the other specs. It's not 5G. Quad camera. And then we said micro SD slot. A slot for 2 SIM cards, so that's nice. So the main camera is 64 megapixels. Then they're saying it could be a 2 or a 5 megapixel dedicated macro, and then an ultra wide to be expected. So yeah, no 5G connectivity. And we're guessing it's probably not going to be anything of like a, you know, amazing SoC or anything like that. I wonder if it's going to be a Qualcomm. What else would it be? What else does Moto use? Does Moto use anything else but Qualcomm? I'm not sure. The operator is asking for 235 euros for the 4 gig RAM, 128 gig internal storage configuration off contract, and with 20 euro additional discounts. So the actual price might be 255 euros at launch. I don't know much about this phone. I know that what was the other phone that's coming out? The Moto 5G. What is that one? Is that the Moto G5G or whatever? That has a Snapdragon 765G chipset, but that's the $500 phone. I don't know what this is. This is a much cheaper phone with a bit lower in the specs department, but it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look anything exciting either, but it might be. I don't know. It's not fair of me to say that. Like, it's like I'm not excited and whatever, but these phones look like many other phones that are out today. Like, my Pixel 4a doesn't look anything special. Basic, but does the job, and I love it. So, but then again, I don't know what the camera experience is going to be like on this phone. I don't know how clean Android is going to be, although Moto is pretty good at keeping things pretty stock, right? Oh, there we go. Deepak says the Moto G5G Plus. And then Olympic says the camera is trash. There you go. I can't speak in terms of the camera. Team Verizon says, is the back glossy plastic? It looks glossy, but who knows if it is. Harsh Mystery, very nice of you. Thank you, Harsh. Hit that like button. Yes, guys, if you haven't had a chance, please hit that like button. Please support me. I beg of you. It would be the kind thing to do on this laborious day of Labor Day. Jay Mills says, looks like I caught the stream just in time. Yes, you did, sir. Yes, you did. Mickey D, what's going on? On my Pixel 3, waiting for the Pixel 5. I too am waiting for the Pixel 5, but on my Pixel 4a, on my Pixel 4 that I never use. God, I haven't used this phone in forever. Anybody want a Pixel 4? No, I have to hold on to it so I can do proper camera comparisons. Edgar says, that's what I like about the Pixel 4a. Clean and simple. Yes, I agree. Clean and simple. And here we go. I have a Moto story, and I still can't stop talking about the Pixel 4a. Harsh Mystery says, bye. Got to sleep. Wanted to stay, but got to go early tomorrow. Good night. Good night, Harsh. Thank you for making it. I appreciate you stopping by. I know it's late for a lot of people wherever they are. I love that there are so many international people in here. It tickles my fancy. I love that we have a whole slew of people around the world. So Harsh, thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Deepak says, let's support this great community, guys. Yes, thank you, Deepak. I appreciate that. Jay Mill says, I'm actually debating on getting a Pixel 4. Why is that? I'm not saying you shouldn't get it. I'm just, what are your other options? I'm curious. Why a Pixel 4? What are your other options? What are other phones you're thinking about? Just curious. All right, let's go ahead and let's continue on. The next story I have is about the Galaxy S20 Fan Edition. So this sounds like a very clickbaity title, but it says here, the leak of this could irk Galaxy Note 20 owners. So what is there? Oh, I got two super chats at the same time. Edgar with a $5 super chat. Enjoy a beer or whatever you feel like drinking. Edgar, thank you so much. Surprisingly, today is when I break my fast. If you don't know this, Edgar, I fast every 65 hours. So I only eat 3 times a week. And today I am breaking my fast. So perhaps I will use that $5 super chat and get myself a beer. Edgar, thank you for the support. Thank you so much, Edgar. I appreciate that. Deepak Murthy also with a €2 super chat. Deepak, thank you. As always, guys, you guys have been pretty regular with the super chat, so I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. By the way, I did take a look at that buy me a coffee thing. I have to look into how that works. I think a few changes are coming down the line, and so I want to try to incorporate people who, support and all that kind of stuff. So I do thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Team Verizon says, I might pass on the 4A at the time being, maybe later this year. Wait, was I was in the middle of a story and now I'm reading chat again. uh, Team Bry, I'm sure you're going to figure out what you're going to get. Olympic says Google will take a month to ship out the Pixel 4a. Best Buy sold out. Wow. Didn't realize that. Didn't realize that. Jay Mills says the processor is what I look at the most. There you go. I prefer to have the top of the line. I hear you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Walt 1101. Walt, what's going on? Trying to upgrade from a OnePlus 5. Wow, you are old school with that OnePlus 5. Still waiting for something special. I wonder what your priorities are. If nothing special has come out, if the OnePlus 5 is still your daily, I'm sure you're waiting for something really good. I wonder what that's going to be. Leo, Android Stud is in here. Love you, bro. Love you too, Android Stud. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you stopping by. Android Stud, you got to come say hello in Discord. Discord's been popping lately. People are like talking and doing whatever. Come by and say hi and chat it up a bit. Leo, thank you for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. Android Stud says, sell you Jerome's Pixel 4a for $500. No, I got to hold on to it. I got to hold on to it. Thank you though for trying to give me some profit there. And David Moret, David just signed up to be a YouTube member. Guys, let us let us congratulate David. I keep wanting to say this. Like, let's throw like I just put a new emoji up. I put the Nexus emoji up. Guys, YouTube members, let's throw some Nexus emoji in the chat to congratulate David for being a new member. David, thank you so much. You now have the red Chicago star next to your name. You get to use custom emoji. You'll get your name on the intros and outros to my live streams. And since I'm at it right now, I might as well show this right here. If you're interested in being part of the YouTube if you're interested in being a YouTube member or being part of the Phone Jerome fam, you could be one too for as little as 99 cents a month by clicking the join button. And Jesus Christ, David, David just sent a $10 super chat. David, thank you, man. Your comment, honestly, just wanted to flex. David, you can flex all you want. You can flex all you want, my dude. Thank you so much for the support, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by today. Thank you for being a new member. Thank you for being part of the Phone Jerome fam. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy your time here. I hope you enjoy the content. I hope it's entertaining. And that's all I'm trying to do is put some entertaining stuff out, give some good info, and share what I can with everyone else. I see people throwing some Nexus emoji up there. So thank you guys. Thank you for showing him some love. David, thank you for being part of the Phone Jerome fam. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's continue on. Tech for Your Needs is in here as well. Hello, folks. Tech for Your Needs. What's going on? Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. Thank you. Team Varai. Team Varai with a £2 super chat. Hey, Jerome. Team Varai, thank you, man. Thank you so much for the support. Guys, thank you. You guys are so kind. You guys have been, you know what? I was talking in Discord about how I've been trying to really prioritize what I've been doing, like really like focusing on this kind of work a lot more and like trying to like balance stuff out. So Team Varai, thank you for the support. All this stuff, all the support, guys, really helps. It helps offset costs. It helps make sure I can pay the rent in here, buy the phones to do like the proper comparisons, although I'm behind on that. But guys, thank you. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead. Let's move. And Brian, of course, with the dollar super chat, as always, Brian on like a, I don't know how many days super streak of super chats. Brian, thank you for the support, man. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I cannot thank you guys enough. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's move on. Again, if you guys want to support, there is the link here. Again, all you got to do is click that blue join button. You can be part of the Phone Jerome fam. If you can't find that blue button, you can go to youtube.com/Phone Jerome/join. I understand times are tough, so I know if you can't do that, that's perfectly fine. Just do me a favor. If you can, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. That's all free. It doesn't cost you any money, and it's a way to support. So guys, thank you again. Please, let's move on. I do appreciate all the support, so thank you. But let's move on to this Galaxy S20 Fan Edition and why it would irk Galaxy Note 20 owners. I haven't really read this, so I don't know what's going on with it. what's going on with it, but it says here it's not unusual for Samsung to launch a light version of its flagship models, although the name has varied from time to time. Long rumored to be in the works, the S20 Fan Edition, or FE, might be close to finally launching, and when it does, it might prove to be controversial to some of Samsung's customers. While the phone is definitely quote unquote light, in some aspects, there are also some specs that put it above the more expensive base Galaxy Note 20 model. Samsung is just awesome at putting out 8 million phones, always, all the time. I don't know when I'm not browsing through tech news and I don't see a new model for something that Galaxy is working on. Galaxy is always working on something. They have 8 million phones and crazy. All right. There was a bit of an outcry when it was discovered that that Samsung would be launching only Exynos toting models of the Galaxy S20 in Europe, given the controversial disparity between Samsung's and Qualcomm's flagship processors. If you're not familiar with what's going on with that, a lot of people are upset because Samsung's Exynos model just isn't up to snuff with what Qualcomm is putting out. And I don't know when that started happening. I don't know if it's only been the last year or two where Samsung has been producing these Exynos versions that haven't been as good. I thought for a while Exynos and Qualcomm had pretty similar specs, and it looks like that hasn't been the case lately. So, leaving consumers also worried about heat dissipation and performance concerns about the difference in components used inside. I remember reading that as well. So while the S20 Fan Edition isn't guaranteed to have one thermal cooling solution or the other, WinFuture does point out that the phone will be equipped with the Snap 865 in Europe. Oh, so the S20 Fan Edition is coming with a Snap 865, at least for the 5G model. There will also be a 4G only model with the same contentious Exynos 990, and it will simply be a choice of price. In all other aspects, the two models will have the exact same specs, like 6 gigs of RAM. Oh my God, guys, I got another. Okay, I got another new YouTube member. Jacoa became a new YouTube member. Guys, let's throw some more Nexus emoji up there. I don't know if that sounds annoying or not, but like let's show some love for Jacoa. Jacoa, I don't even know if I've seen you in here before. Jacoa, who's putting up his own Nexus emoji. Jacoa, thank you for being a new YouTube member. Thank you for being part of the Phone Jerome fam. I do appreciate it. You now are, you now have all of the privileges of the Chicago Star emoji and custom emoji, and I will add your name in the intros and outros to my live streams. Jacoa, thank you for being a new YouTube member. I'm sure we will be touching base and talking. Very nice to see you. Again, I don't remember if I've seen you in here. If I have and I've said hi before and I forgot, I apologize. But thank you for being part of the Phone Jerome fam. For all the new members, DM me or email me. I will give you a link to my private Discord. There's a whole community where we're talking about tech and random other things, and you guys can even throw like links to stories that if I can get a chance, I will like see if it's like interesting enough to talk about. But for David, for Jacoa, hit me up later. I'll give you a link to the private Discord so you can join in and be part of that community as well. All right, guys, let's go back to that story. There's been so much going on today in the community. I do appreciate it, guys. Let's talk about this S20 Fan Edition real quick. So, okay, so there's gonna be a model that'll have the Snap 865. But then there's also going to be a model with the Exynos 990. It also says here both models will have a 6.5-inch Super AMOLED screen with a 120 hertz refresh rate. Wow. Okay. I mean, this S20 Fan Edition is supposed to be the light version, but they're still going to put a 120 hertz refresh rate in there. So it says here something the base Galaxy Note 20 isn't even capable of. The phone will also have 3 cameras that are pretty much the same set you'll find on the Note 20. In a nutshell, the S20 Fan Edition mashes parts of the S20 Plus and the Galaxy Note 20 into what is presumably a more accessible price tag. So if I'm not mistaken, then is this S20 Fan Edition better than the base Note 20? It says here, of course, there won't be an S Pen, but is that really a big deal? But that makes the Fan Edition look more enticing and practical than even the Galaxy S20 Plus. The phone will even be available in more colorful and brighter options of orange, lavender, green, and red. Okay, so there's a ton of colors with that, with a navy blue model that may only be available for 5G models. The Galaxy S20 Fan Edition could be announced in the next few weeks as part of Samsung's aggressive campaign to launch a new phone each month. A new phone each month? Jesus Christ, Samsung. You just have 8 million. Jesus. And then I have a super chat. Oh my God, how am I going to get through my stories today? Guys, Grant with a $5 super chat. Grant says, happy Labor Day. Here's to working through the holiday, hardest working man in tech. Grant, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Really, that is so kind of you to say. I don't know if I am the hardest working man in tech, but I do put a lot of time and effort into what I do. And I keep trying to do more. And I've been trying to balance things out. But Grant, first of all, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for being a supporter. Thank you for always like stopping by and saying what's up. I know you're a busy guy too, guys. Also, if you guys haven't checked Grant out, give him a checkout, give him a look, a like. Grant is also a tech YouTuber, has great camera comparisons, has a great perspective when it comes to tech, and I do respect his work. So give him a follow, give him a subscribe. Thank you, Grant, for the kind words. Thank you for the support, as always, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys. You guys are so kind today, and I appreciate that support. Thank you so much. It does mean a lot to me. Like, I don't sit here and I'm not just blowing smoke like up your butts. I don't do that. I mean, I was even talking to people in Discord recently that like I had to drop a client recently. I had to drop a client because like it was just, I've been so busy, and like even though like the pay was good, it just didn't work out, and I'm gonna have to recoup, that kind of like income I've been making. And like I told myself, I said, all right, Jerome, you drop this client, but don't pick up any new clients. Take that time and put it back into your YouTube. So into this channel, into my fasting channel. So guys, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Grant, thank you so much. Everyone else, thank you so much. Thank you for the new memberships today. Thank you for the support. Always appreciate it. Let's move on. I will get into chat, but let me move on to the next story here. Because I want to talk about this LG Wing. We talked about this LG Wing before, and I showed you guys a picture of like this crazy whatever LG's trying to do. LG's always trying to do some shit. But the LG Wing video leak shows the rotating phone's interface. So we showed this before where it looks like it's two displays, one display in front of the other. And I thought this was a kind of a neat idea for, I guess, the car, but I don't know what else this is going to be applicable for. Like, I don't know what else this is going to be good for. So let's read into this. A video has emerged purporting to show the LG Wing's interface outside of apps. You could get an extra large view of your settings and notifications. LG will reveal more about the phone on September 14th. So like, I'm still a little, so there's video of this happening here. We're going to show this, but I'm still trying to figure out an application for what this is going to do. Imagine this is the Pixel Wing. Look at me making my own Pixel Wing. So it goes like this, right? Or does it go like this to make a cross, or does it just stick out this way? Is there any way that these two screens can like double up as like a dual screen, or is it always just going to be like this? I guess I should watch the video. I did watch it and I don't really remember exactly how it did it, but like, yeah. So like now that you've seen the Pixel Wing, hey guys, like I just leaked the Pixel Wing. Nobody knows about this. This is an exclusive breaking news story. Jerome Ortega, Phone Jerome, has just revealed that a Pixel Wing is in. I'm kidding. There's no Pixel Wing. Let's talk about this. You've seen the LG Wing's clever rotating display in use with apps and games, But what will the interface be like? If a new leak is accurate, you might have an idea. A Korean video appears to show the wing home screen and notification shade. As you might imagine, LG would make use of the unusual design even in a seemingly pedestrian situation like this. You could pivot the display to get an extra large, if stretched, version of your quick controls and alerts while keeping part of your homepage visible below. So let's take a look at how this works. Let me make sure my audio's off. There we go. So here, oh, I'm clicking play on, okay. Okay, wait. So this is already a full screen display right here, right? First of all, I don't know who would use the display like this. I don't know if this makes sense to me. Does this make sense? Would anyone use the phone this way? Because, well, wait, maybe you could. So you could watch a video this way, right? So you could watch a full screen, widescreen video this way, and then the comments would be down below here. So that wouldn't be bad. But like, what is the weight of holding what is the weight of holding a device when the weight is top heavy like that? Okay, so let's see how this works. So you see the notifications were right there. Yeah. So the notification, well, I don't know. It just looks like two screens. And then it's flipping here. So he's manually flipping it. I don't know if it manually or I don't know if it automatically comes down. I think you just have to flip it yourself, which that's not the worst thing in the world. That's less parts that could break, but I don't know. So then it turns into one thick device, double C thick. But it doesn't look bad. It still looks pretty thin here, right? But my question is that it? Those are the only two ways you can rotate the phone. You can have it in a Tetris shape as a T, or I guess it comes out this way. You get the T shape like this, and then you get the one shape like that. We'll watch it again. So just if in case you missed it. So you get the T shape right here, and you'll get the notifications or whatever. Or I guess you could watch a YouTube video and watch the live stream below, right? And then you will manually flip it down as he's doing here with his thumb. And then you get one full screen, and it still doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like it's a doubled up phone. It looks like a very, very thin screen here. So really the secondary screen is the screen behind it. I guess you're going to use this thin screen more than the one behind it, unless you're always having the phone up in a T shape. And then the videos I watch. Lately, yes, I watch a lot of fitness videos. Don't judge me. The clip also offers a fleeting view of the phone beyond its screen, including an iridescent finish reminiscent of the Velvet. That's true. So, like, if you see here, this phone has like this shiny back to it, like right there. It looks good. I like it. I think it looks cool, but I don't know really what the specs are going to be. The camera array is clearly different than on the Velvet, although the leak doesn't offer a good look. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really show that there, but the finish is like the Velvet. Many details of the wing remain mysterious, although it could have the performance of an upper mid-range phone with a Snap 765G chip and 5G wireless. It might be as expensive as a high-end device with a price nearer to $1,000 in the US, though. So you could be paying a premium for that additional screen. Is this phone worth $1,000 though? I know it has two screens, but is that screen really worth? I just don't know if that setup is efficient, is better than a dual screen, is better than a folding screen. Although a folding screen like the Galaxy, what is it? Z Fold 2, Fold 2Z, 300ZX, TT twin turbo. I don't know if this wing is an efficient way of using two screens. It is innovative. I do think it looks kind of cool. I like that it's a very thin screen so that it doesn't like make your phone look fat, like two phones doubled up, you know? So it says here, LG is formally unveiling the Wing on September 14th. So we have a week. It's a week from now, next Monday. Videos like this suggest it could be a thoroughly unusual phone in day-to-day use, but the company is clearly expecting that. It's using the Wing to launch an Explorer project category of boundary-pushing phones, and that means taking chances on interfaces that might only appeal to specific people. I can't fault them for that. I can't fault them for wanting to try something different, something new, something quirky. Does it mean I'm going to recommend the phone to you? No. I don't know if I could recommend this phone if it was $1,000. I think that's way too expensive. There's probably better phones that you can get at that price, but I'm not going to fault them for trying something different. Like, I'm not going to tell you to go spend $2,000 on the Galaxy Z Fold 2, but I'm not going to hate on them for putting something out that's different and like maybe in the future be technologically useful, technologically, I don't know, maybe like an everyday kind of use thing. That's it. That's all I got to share on the Wing. Let me get into chat here. Let me make sure I didn't miss anyone. Say hi to everybody and see what else is up. So let me scroll up here, make sure I didn't miss anyone. I did miss some people here. Leo says, I think I'm going to buy a car that has a Snap 765G in it. No, don't do that. That wouldn't be the best car to, yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Javon Sims. Am I saying that right? Is it Javon? Javon? With a little eyes emoji. I see you too, bruh. Welcome to the stream. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Hopefully you're still here. Welcome. If you're still here, why don't you kick back, relax, enjoy my very soothing, relaxing voice. I know that's why people are here. You guys are here for the ASMR, aren't you? Right? No, I think you guys are here more for the rants. J Mill says, I don't think it's just Samsung. I think a lot of companies are bringing out these type of quote unquote light devices since prices are going up. They know only like 5 people will pay premium prices, so they have to ship. No, you're absolutely right, J Mill. You're absolutely right. I'm just giving Samsung a hard time because they're always making 8 million phones. That's all. That's it. All right, let me see here. Sean is in here. Sean, what up? Sean, how's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you as always. Team Verizon says, man, I hope those are matte backs. Which one are we talking about now? Was that the Fan Edition? Oh, that is. I think Team Verizon is always making sure that these phones don't have glossy backs. I think you mentioned that on the Nord as well, didn't you? Anyway, Gandek, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Good for those who hate curved displays and want to stick with Samsung. Very good point. Very good point. I appreciate you bringing that up. Welcome. All right, let me see here. What am I missing? J Mill says, so what you're saying is that you're now able to do more OT live streams. Got it. I don't know about that. But I'm trying to put a lot more effort into what I do for my YouTube channels because I don't want to neglect the thing I love doing the most. So Team Verizon says, not too cray on the Wing A. At least LG's trying stuff though. Right. You got to give them credit for that. Tech to me, please. Oh, I like that name. That's clever. Tech to me, please. Need to replace the iPhone 8. SC is too similar. iPhone 11 too expensive. Is the 4A still a good choice after some time now? Yes. I have been recommending the 4A for a while, but it also depends, tech to me, please, if you are planning to keep the 4A for like 2-3 years. I mean, if you're keeping it for 2 years, I still think it's going to be fine. 3 years, I don't know, you might be pushing it, but the phone for the price can't be beat. For $350, you can't beat it. I actually have an article today that Android Police did comparing the Pixel 4a and the iPhone SE, and I actually want to get into that today. So tech to me, please. I think a lot of that is dependent on your priorities, but let me know what's important to you, and we can kind of discuss that. I've talked about this phone so many times that I feel like I'm just going to annoy people by telling them the same shit, but I'm happy to say it again if you do need the help with it. J Mill says, I look at the LG Wing is a more useful way of multitasking than a lot of other folding or moving type devices. The Galaxy Fold is the only superior device for me in that segment. I mean, I can see that. I can agree with that to an extent. I think I would need to use it more or see the Wing more in action. I do like the fact that it's not like mechanical, right? Like you just move it yourself. It's kind of like how a flip phone would be, but in a different kind of way. Does that make sense? I don't know. It is different. It reminds me of like slider phones. Like I used to have old Nokias where I would slide the display up and then I would get the keyboard underneath. Something like that. I think that's the way I can kind of like justify it. Anyway, Tech to Me Please also says, I don't know if YouTube is hyping up the phone 4a or is it that good? What about lag for daily use items? So Tech to Me Please, let me know if you're still in here. I'm assuming you are, but if you have a chance, please watch my other clipped videos on the Pixel 4a. I do talk about it at length. I'm not hyping it up. I think it is a great phone, a very clean, vanilla Android phone at a very reasonable price with an excellent battery, an excellent camera. But as far as daily use items, yes, you're able to use it daily for the most basic of things, but don't be fooled. The phone will lag, the phone will stutter, the phone will slow down. It happens to me when I use apps like TaskRabbit. It happens to me when I use apps like Amazon. It happens to me when I'm like trying to scroll quickly, even in Chrome. Not all the time, but it happens from time to time. So keep that in mind. If that is an issue for you, if you think that's something that's going to be annoying for you, wait for the Pixel 4a 5G, because then at least you will have a bump in specs there. If the 4a 5G is still going to lag, because it might, then you might want to prioritize the processor over the software experience. You might want to prioritize that $500 and put it into something like a OnePlus 7T that you can buy for like $400 now. Save yourself the $100. You might not get 5G, but 5G shouldn't be the selling point right now. So think about those kind of things. There are a lot of ways to look at that, but if camera is a priority, if price is a priority, if the software experience is a priority, then I don't know what's going to beat the Pixel 4a in terms of a brand new phone. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that gives you a little insight on trying to pick what your next phone could be. Like, I don't even know how the OnePlus 5, how the performance on that fares against a Snapdragon 730G. I wouldn't be surprised if they were similar. I really wouldn't. Gandex says the LG Wing is the phone for gymnasts. There you go. Deepak says it looks so funny. I mean, you know what? I shouldn't be embarrassed, but like, I feel like if I was on the train in Chicago and my phone was doing this on the train, if my phone was doing this and I was holding the phone like that, like this, I don't know. I would feel, well, I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be bad. I was going to say, would I be embarrassed doing that? But why should I care? Why should any of you care? You should just enjoy what's good for you. That's easier said than done. Jay Mill says, think about it, Rome. It's the same as turning your device in landscape, but now you have extra space for other stuff. That's a fair point. It is a fair point. I like that. I appreciate you trying to like put that perspective in my head, because I get that. Although Jay Mill says, yeah, the price is kind of butt even for that. Very true. Very true. Tech to Me Please also says, do you think some YouTubers already received test Pixel 5 units? I wouldn't be surprised. I should have kept kissing Google's ass and kept hashtagging all my videos with Team Pixel and gift from Google, and maybe I would have had it by now, but that's okay. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if some people had it, or the 4A 5G. Jason Lim is in here. Jason, what's going on? It's just a cool looking gadget, which makes people go, ooh, his screen rotates. That offers nothing more. Same mid-ranger flagship specs. I mean, yes, I agree also to an extent, but like J Mill also has a point where it's like you get more screen real estate. But is it worth $1,000? Most likely not. Most likely not. Oddweight Sharma is in here. Jason, by the way, welcome. Oddweight is in here as well. New iPad is coming. I'm here for the good looks. The voice is just a bonus. Oddweight, I'm very flattered. I'm very flattered. Oddweight, welcome. Congrats on the new iPad. Congrats. Paul says, J-Mill, Candy Crush and walkthrough video at the same time. There you go. All right, let me see here. Brian says, who knows how much these iPhones are going to cost with this 5G BS? That's true too. Jason says the same concept from Iron Man in 2008, the LCVX 9400. I think I saw an article about that, but I don't remember. Thank you for pointing that out. Deepak also says, is tomorrow iPad and Apple Watch Day? Is it? I'm so far behind, guys. Let me know if it is. That'll be new news to talk about. Tech to me, please says, I'm going to keep it for 2 years. Pictures are number 1, text calling number 2, social number 3. Yeah, the Pixel 4a would suit you just fine, I think, if it comes to that. If price is lower down in your priority, I would really consider the Pixel 4a 5G at $500, because then I think your experience would be a lot more pleasant for 2 years. But if price is higher in that priority, then I don't think you're going to go wrong with a 4A. Yeah. All right, let me move on, guys. I have, oh Jesus, I have a lot more stories, and we're 50 minutes into it. Let me try to pronounce this. Vibov, am I saying that right? Vibov. If I pronounce it wrong, I apologize. Please let me know how to properly say it. The LG Wing looks to be a great option for mobile gamers or mobile video recorders, as all the controls. Ooh, that's a good point too. I like that. Thank you for pointing that out, Vibov. As all the controls can be on the bottom without interrupting the content. That is a great point, especially if you were like live streaming and you're trying to read content and you're trying to film at the same time. That's not a bad point. I like that. Thank you for pointing that out. Also, welcome to the stream. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Tectonic, what's going on? LG is getting kicked off by everyone else. That's still relevant. Tectonic, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Brian says carriers are using separate 5G connectivity types to lock people into their carrier services. Yep, they are, which is unfortunate. Very unfortunate. All right, guys, I got to scroll down. I can't get through everything because I need to get through the rest of the stories today. Just let me see if there are a couple of people I haven't stopped by. Jay Mills says MKBHD has been using the Pixel 4a 5G and 5 for a few weeks now. Probably. Toba says the LG Wing is going to be a great device. We'll see. It doesn't look bad. But it's also not my first choice. Okay, guys, let me move on here. Okay, I see chat going. I see some people going. Tech for your needs. I see you're leaving, I think. Tech for your needs, welcome, or thank you for stopping by. So guys, let's go on. Let's talk about the next story here. It's a quick one. Tech Radar is saying the OnePlus 8T may not be joined by an 8T Pro, and we can take a good guess why. And they're saying it's the OnePlus Nord's fault. So I'm not too upset about this news. I would rather that OnePlus just have a premium phone. You want to go ahead and you want to start making all these phones, go ahead and make one premium phone. You want to make a OnePlus 8T and not call it an 8T Pro and just put all the great things in a OnePlus 8T. Let's do that. OnePlus. That was what you were supposed to do in the first place, and price it correctly. But are you going to price it correctly? I don't know. So it says here, this leaker posted this, no kebab 2, which I think is trying to say there's going to be no OnePlus 8T Pro. So it's saying here the OnePlus 8T will arrive without a more powerful sibling, but I think so. What they're saying here is the OnePlus 8T can be a full-blown pro device in all but name. So maybe that's what they'll do is the OnePlus 8T will now have all the great specs in it, with all the top specs, features users would expect, and the company wouldn't need to put out a separate device for those looking for a more affordable option. And that would especially be the case if, as some think, a OnePlus Nord Lite is launched soon. Still, this is all speculation and rumor, and it's likely that we'll need to wait until the OnePlus 8T launch before we know for certain that there won't be a pro version. That launch is expected to take place sometime in October, and stay tuned, blah, blah, blah. So, would I rather have this as an option? Sure, I would rather have this. I don't like too many phones differentiating itself, even though they're very similar to each other. So I would rather that OnePlus just launch a premium high-end phone with all the specs. It doesn't mean that I'm going to recommend it, because if it's going to be priced too high, then I'll be like, it's probably not worth the money. Maybe these are the better phones you can get then at this price point. But I don't know. It's also a weird rumor because we keep hearing about all these other cheaper OnePlus phones. If I'm not mistaken, I think we've heard like about 4 or 5 different ones now in a budget range, or 3 or 4 different ones. Either way, there's a lot. There are a lot of them. But for me, I would rather one premium flagship device. Go ahead, call it a OnePlus 8T Pro, or call it a OnePlus 8T. Put the 865 Plus in there. Put 12 gigs of RAM in there. Put 512 gigs of internal storage in there. Put the great cameras, or at least they said the great cameras that were in the OnePlus 8 Pro in the OnePlus 8T. IP68 dust and water resistance, wireless charging, great build quality, gigantic battery. Put all that in there, charge it at $800 and surprise the hell out of us. Price it at $800 and like everyone's going to say that's going to be the phone of the year if they do something like that. But I don't think they're going to charge it at $800. I mean, I don't know. So like my thought is that they would price it in between the OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 8 Pro. So if the OnePlus 8 is $700 and the OnePlus 8 Pro is $900, then like put all those great specs and then make the new OnePlus 8T $800. But that's like me wishful thinking. I know that's not going to happen. That's just like, pie in the sky dreaming. So, but that's it. I think that's all I have when it comes to the OnePlus 8T here. We are like 50 something minutes into the stream, and I have one more. Oh, I have a super chat. I have one more story. But before I do, Ruben with the $7 super chat. Ruben with the Nexus emoji. Pixel Wing. Where's my Pixel Watch, yo? What up, Jerome? What's good, Phone Jerome fam? Ruben, thank you. Thank you for the $7 super chat. Here is my thank you emoji. Appreciate you also rocking the Nexus emoji in there as well. Ruben, always with the regular continuous support. Ruben, thank you so much for the support. Appreciate the love. You guys have been so generous today, and I do appreciate it. So guys, thank you so much. Where is your Pixel Watch though? I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. Would I rather have a Pixel Watch over a Pixel Wing? Yes, I would. What I should just do is take duct tape and then like duct tape this together and be like, guys, I got the Pixel Wing. Check it out. It's awesome. One has a good battery and one doesn't. But they both take good camera shots. But Ruben, thank you for the $7 super chat as always. Ruben is always consistent with his 7. Like that's his number there. But Ruben, thank you, man. Thank you so much. I'm doing well. Hopefully you're doing well as well. Yeah, that's Ruben. Thank you again. Thank you again. All right, guys, let me scroll down here real quick. Hackney Man is in here. What up, stream? Joining late again. You're good, Hackney Man. Nice to see you as always. 8T versus the Pixel 5, or have I missed that bit? No, that would be a good comparison. But The 8T would probably have all the high-end specs. The Pixel 5 would probably edge it out, though. Not edge it out, but the Pixel 5 would edge it out in the camera department, but that's probably about it. The 8T would probably take the higher road and all the other aspects. Although I don't know how the software experience is going to be. I have no idea. I really don't. All right. J Mill says supposedly Apple is announcing some stuff tomorrow, which will be released a few weeks later. I will have to keep my eyes peeled and ears peeled. Ears and eyes peeled? Is that the term? My ears peeled? Whatever. I'll keep my eyes peeled for it. Vibob says, yeah, the last time OnePlus 7T Pro was just a redundant offering, which is what a lot of OnePlus, every time they do these 6-month pushes, I just don't agree with a lot of them. I really don't. Tectonic says we need 128 gigs of RAM. It's about time. I agree. 128 gigs of RAM. Is that what I said? 128 gigs of RAM. 12 gigs of RAM, I think. Anyway, let me scroll down here. Malcontent. Ooh. Oh, this is someone else too. MHD, Ziad. I don't know if MHD is pronounced a certain way. Mid Ziad. Anyway, welcome. iPhone 11 versus the Pixel 4a camera. I haven't done a comparison for that yet, but if you want something that's similar, do yourself a favor and take a look at my Pixel 4a versus iPhone 11 Pro video. If I have time, I will try to do a Pixel 4a versus iPhone 11 Pro, but I haven't had much time lately, but I will try. But Mid, Ziad, please let me know how to pronounce it. Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Malcontent is in here as well. Malcontent says, hi, Jerome, first timer. Malcontent, nice to see you. I'm a longtime OnePlus user, but about to jump ship due to, there we go, the unwelcome beta Samsung-like UI. Probably going Pixel next. Malcontent, it is hard to not disagree with that. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are not going to be happy with this change that OnePlus is doing with their UI. And I think that's going to drive people to go back to stock Android, completely stock Android, and the Pixel might be a new home for a lot of other people. So I can see that. Malcontent, I'm wondering though, are you looking at the 4A, the 4A 5G, or the 5? I'm assuming if you have a OnePlus device, you have usually the higher end specs. So maybe a 5 is in your future. I'm just curious what you're thinking about. But Malcontent, welcome. Nice to see you. Nice for you to stop by and kind of be part of the community here. Hope to see you in future streams. All right, let me see here. Brian says Nexus is greater than the Pixel because it has its own icon. Oh my God. You know what? I never thought about that. Is there even an icon for the Pixel? Brian, I'm so I never thought about that. Yeah, that's right. And I gave a Nexus emoji to the YouTube members, to the Phone Jerome fam here. There is no other Pixel icon. I didn't even think about that. What a great thing to point out. Never thought about that. All right, let me scroll down. Tectonic says, I'm honestly sick and disgusted for this eMMC storage on phones. It's way too slow and slows drastically quicker than traditional flash storage in the higher end. That's a great point. We should have reached a point where that garbage is no longer necessary for most phones. Thank you for pointing that out. Oddweight also says, OnePlus is getting crushed by the iPhone SE. Speed don't matter for shit if you get beaten by a $400 phone. I can't argue with that either. I can't argue with that. Tectonic says, I haven't seen the new UI change, but seeing that they're moving away from stockish Android, kind of annoying. I feel the same way. And I don't want to shit on it right now because I haven't really used it, but come on, guys. I am a Pixel, diehard fan. As much as I give shit to the Pixel 4 and other moves that Google has made, I have been a Galaxy Nexus owner. That was my very first Nexus device, and I have owned every Nexus and Pixel device since then. And I want stock Android. I appreciate stock Android. I know OnePlus is trying to use the excuse of, well, we have bigger displays and we need to take advantage of these big displays, but I don't know, then maybe make a phone that doesn't have such a gigantic display. Maybe that's not the right way of going about it. If OnePlus wants to go ahead and they want to like revamp the UI and make it better for one-handed use, like by all means. But I really don't think that's the reason OnePlus is doing it. I think the reason OnePlus is doing it is because they want their product to stand out. They want people to know it's a OnePlus device. They want people to know you're using OnePlus software. You're using, you know, the OnePlus camera. I think you want people to know you're using a Pixel camera, not a OnePlus camera. But yeah, I really think that OnePlus has ulterior motives. It's not just they want to switch up the UI because they want to maximize the efficiency used in Android software. I think it's more than just that. So, all right, we are at the hour here. I should be ending this stream, but I have one more article to go over. So we're going to do a little OT here. We're going to do a little Phone Jerome OT. So get those super I'm just kidding. We're doing OT here, guys. So this article from Android Central says, is the Pixel 4a actually better than the iPhone SE? We used both. There's a winner, but it's a close race. This article is from Android Police. What do you think they're going to say is the better phone, the Pixel 4a or the iPhone SE? I'm biased as well. I prefer Android over iOS. I prefer a Pixel phone over an iPhone. I used to work for Android Police. No, I'm not saying I agree with what I actually haven't read through this article yet, but I kind of wanted to go through it because like I've done a similar comparison, but I'd like to see how Android Police actually breaks this down. So, putting Android and iOS side by side in the smartphone arena has never been easy. While big software differences still separate the platforms in fundamental ways, even things like hardware just don't mean the same thing when you're comparing an iPhone to an Android phone. Even for us, people who are generally familiar with both, it can be difficult at times to explain what can sound like subtle contrasts end up painting two wildly different pictures. We obviously have a clear agenda when it comes to which platform is better, even if the 2020 iPhone SE seriously wowed us. And so for me, I think the Android platform is better than iOS's platform. I don't think a lot of software, like app-wise, I think app-wise, iOS, the developers do a better job with a lot of apps over Android. And I just think it's because these other developers aren't putting the time and effort that they do in iOS apps. And I guess I can't blame them in a respect because that's where they're making their money. They're probably making their money on Apple's iOS or Apple's OS. It's unfortunate and it's disappointing. And I'm not saying that every single Android app is not optimized to work well. I'm just saying there are a lot of apps that I use on my iPhone 11 Pro. There are a lot more apps that I use on here that work better than on my Pixel 4. That's just the truth. Instagram is one of the biggest ones that I can think offhand. The Instagram app on my iOS, on my iPhone 11 Pro, has things on it that my Android phone doesn't. Even things like a simple 3x3 grid, so I can like line things up and make sure that things are straight. I can't do that on my Pixel phones, and it's like by default on my iPhone. I don't know why that is. I don't know why Instagram doesn't, and that's just one app. There are many other apps that do the same thing. My Pixel 4a still can't do face recognition on the Capital One app. So I can't unlock my phone with my face. And then with the Pixel 4, did I say Pixel 4a? Because I have the Pixel 4a here. But with the Pixel 4, I can't unlock my apps with Capital One because it doesn't support facial recognition. Is that Google's fault? Well, probably not. But third-party developers, they're not rushing to do that. Can I use facial recognition or Face ID on my iPhone 11 Pro with the Capital One app? Yes. And that's great. And that's one of the reasons that my iPhone 11 Pro was my daily driver for such a long time, because there was a lot of stuff that couldn't work on my Pixel 4, and the 4a wasn't around. The 4a is my daily now because of the fingerprint reader. That's one of the biggest reasons I use the 4a more than any of my other phones at this point for convenience because I'm wearing a face mask and I don't want to pull my mask down and I can just use my fingerprint reader instead. And the 4A does it for me. I'm ranting, but I'm being very straightforward, and that's the honest truth. And that's why I use my 4A a lot. I guess this also has to I have to add on because I also had an iPhone SE. I did buy the 2020 iPhone SE and I ended up returning it. I have the Pixel 4a here, and this is 3 weeks now. I've had this phone about 3 weeks, and I'm not returning it. So I can already tell you what I like better. You guys already know that I prefer the Pixel 4a over the iPhone SE. I'm assuming Android Police also prefers the Pixel 4a over the iPhone SE because they're Android Police, but I still think they're going to have at least their honest opinion, whether it is biased. I think they're still going to be at least clear about how they feel about it. Just like me. Yes, I wear my bias on my sleeve, but I'm not going to lie to you about an experience I don't like or whatever, just for the sake of being, preferring Android over iOS or anything like that. But let's go ahead and let's read into this article. This isn't some by the numbers hands-off comparison. I've actively used each of these devices back to back. Again, see, I like at least that they're being honest about some of this stuff. I say some of this stuff like they're lying. They're not lying. I just, let's just read about what they have to say. So they're both objectively great phones, and while your priorities might ultimately arrive at a different judgment than mine, I've tried to include all of my own impressions separately so you can come to your own conclusion based on your own values. Build quality. So for me, build quality, iPhone SE, obviously. Build quality by far, iPhone SE. When it comes to industrial design and physical quality, the iPhone SE spanks the Pixel 4a easily. The SE has an IP rating, aluminum frame, handy hardware ringer switch, wireless charging, and a much better feel in hand overall. And I agree with that. It even comes in 3 different colors if you want yours to stand out. The 4A, on the other hand, has a flimsier plastic body, no IP rating, no wireless charging, only comes in boring black, and has an undeniably cheaper feeling, though it does charge with a more universal USB Type-C port compared to the iPhone's obnoxious and proprietary Lightning connector. I agree with all of those statements. I don't know if I really agree with the boring black. Yes, it's black, it's boring, whatever. But I like it. I don't think it's bad. I actually prefer the little punch of color right here. Would it be nice if we had other colors to pick from? Sure. But I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to have a black phone. For me. All right. So the SE is also smaller, and that can be a good or bad thing. I personally prefer the ever so slightly larger size of the 4A, which is almost the perfect size for a phone, in my opinion. Folks that enjoy smaller phones or who have smaller hands may prefer the SE. So here's the thing. I've been saying this for a while. I love the form factor on the Pixel 4a. I think this is a great one-handed phone. Not to mention the fact that on an iPhone SE, you have huge bezels on the top and the bottom. You have the fingerprint reader on the front for Touch ID, but I think it's like my other YouTube channel, but look at this display. It's such a big display for such a small form factor. On the iPhone SE, you have a bit of a smaller phone, but you have a top bezel, you have a bottom bezel. And for me, I would rather have a fuller display and have the fingerprint reader in the back. I honestly prefer a rear fingerprint reader. Over a front fingerprint reader. Again, that could be subjective, but I would rather have that than have it clog up my front display. But this article's right. Build quality, the feel in hand, the wireless charging, the IP68 dust and water resistance. Is it IP68 or is it IP67? Whatever. Dust and water resistance, all of those things are pluses on the iPhone SE. So take that into consideration. All right. The Pixel 4a does have one physical advantage over the SE. a headphone jack. And that's something I forgot to point out as well. And that's very true. It does. So for people who still use a headphone jack, you do get one on top there. I have actually used mine. I've used my $8, $9 Panasonic earbuds on my Pixel 4a, and it was kind of nostalgic. I took my Pixel 4a with me on a walk, and I really didn't need to use my AirPods, although I do use my AirPods. I use them all the time. And I use them all the time with my Pixel 4a. But for people who want a headphone jack, you can still get one on your Pixel 4a. So also, again, keep that in mind. Lastly, while it doesn't matter one bit for this comparison, the power and volume buttons on the 4a are the most pleasantly clicky of any phone I've used, like little crushable capsules of dopamine. Just had to mention it. So I actually appreciate this part of the article. That is something that I talked about. People asked me how the build quality felt on the Pixel 4a, and you guys saw it. You guys watched the unboxing. I was like click clacking. I even put it in front of the Oops, I'm letting the camera go off. I put it in front of the microphone, and it has a very nice tactile feel, surprisingly tactile feel. One thing that I don't like about cheaper phones is that they have mushy buttons. Like it doesn't speak well in terms of build quality. Yes, the phone is plastic. Yes, the phone doesn't feel premium, but it has tactile buttons. It has great tactile feedback, and that's a good thing. I would rather have that than having mushy buttons and a premium build, right? Like don't give me a metal body where it feels good in the hand, but then I have mushy buttons to press on. Because that's, to me, that would annoy me more than having a plastic build and really clicky buttons. I know that sounds like a small thing, like even here in the article, but I think that is something worth mentioning. I really think it is. So specs, right? You want to talk specs, you want to talk performance. The iPhone SE is definitely the better phone, definitely the better performer, for sure. I don't know what other specs he's going to talk about here, but let's go ahead. We'll read into it. While I think this subject is pretty clear cut, yeah, there you go. It does depend on what you value more and are willing to compromise on. The iPhone SE beats the Pixel 4a in terms of specs and speed, but if you're willing to settle when it comes to pure processing power, and you're definitely settling there with the Pixel 4a, don't fool yourself. Other details like the Pixel 4a's very nice OLED display, better battery life, forgot about that. That's a great point to put out too. The battery life on the Pixel 4a is excellent. I've said this before. I average about 5 hours of screen on time on this phone, and I average 24 plus hours off the charger with 5 hours of screen on time. Those are huge, huge pluses. The iPhone SE will not get you those kind of numbers. It will not. Plain and simple. It won't get you those numbers at all. Yeah, I'm just reading to like see what else I agree on. But yeah, the iPhone SE processing power, performance wise, that wins. Battery life, Pixel 4a, display, Pixel 4a, dust water resistance, wireless charging, obviously, iPhone SE. The iPhone SE is a very, very fast phone, and Apple's A13 Bionic soundly spanks not just the mid-range chipset in the 4a, but every SoC in every Android phone, period. And that's a big statement. That is a big statement. That just shows the pure processing, performance, power, speed that Apple puts in their phones. And I've said this before, but the 4a, it will stutter, lag, slow down on you. Maybe for not the most basic things. So I know people might have this phone and be like, well, Jerome, no, wait, what? But my phone's fine. My phone, I can text and, pick up a phone call and take a picture. Yeah, I know. Me too. I can do it too. But don't be kidding yourself. It will stutter. It will lag at times. It is not the most perfect phone. I think people sometimes they wear blinders when they buy their new phone. You know what? I'm going to I'm not going to rant, but I will just take a moment to say, a lot of times when I have an opinion on a phone and I speak very strongly about how I feel about something, that's obviously my opinion. And I can share that because I want to. It's my opinion. And sometimes that opinion might even lean more into truth. When I say these buttons are tactile, like, I feel like that's more of a fact than me being opinionated about it. Yes, are there buttons that maybe feel more tactile? Sure. But in my opinion, like, for all the phones that I have used, and I've used a lot, and yes, I said in my opinion, it feels more tactile than many others. But it also leans on fact. What I'm trying to get at is sometimes when I talk shitty about a phone or whatever that somebody else owns, they're quick. They're quick to dismiss it. They're quick to get defensive. And sometimes people wonder why people get that way. And it's because I actually, I don't know if Ted is still in here, but I mentioned this to Ted before. I say this to a lot of people, is the reason people get very defensive when someone says something about a phone, because other people are like, why would someone get so uppity about it? And this is the perfect reason, because you just spent $4, $5, $6, $1,000, or $4, $5, $600 on a phone, $1,000 on a phone. It's a lot of money. It's your personal possession that you are going to be keeping for X amount of months, possibly years. The way that I correlate this is, imagine you're coming home from a car dealership. You just bought a new car. You just bought a brand new car. You're pulling up in your driveway and your neighbor is standing outside on his front lawn and he notices you pulling up in your brand new car, and you come out of that brand new car, and he notices it and he's like, oh, you bought a new car? And then you're like, yeah, I bought it at such and such, and it can do this and it can do that. And then imagine that guy says, that's a shitty car. Like, fuck that car. Like, why would you spend that money on that? Would you not get upset? Would you not be offended by that? Of course you would. Of course you would. And I feel like that's what happens when I say something that I don't like about a phone. People get so defensive, and that's fine. You want to go ahead and dislike it, go ahead and dislike the video. Go ahead and leave in the comments that Jerome got paid, because we know I don't get paid. We know I don't get paid by any of these companies. They'll say that I'm lying or I changed the way something. Can you believe that people say on my camera comparison videos that I took pictures with a different phone, even though I said it was with this particular phone, because they don't like the results. They don't like the truth. I'm ranting about something that I shouldn't be ranting about, but yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. So we know that the iPhone SE has a faster chipset, a better performing chipset. We know that easily. Hands the Pixel 4a its ass. So it says here, that said, I like the taller, slightly sharper edge-to-edge OLED screen on the Pixel 4a more than the smaller 16:9 bezel-licious IPS display on the iPhone SE, and that's evident here. Look at where the bezels are. They're huge. And then look at this fuller screen display, and honestly, the form factor is pretty similar, except the Pixel 4a has a much bigger display. All right. And here's a point too, and this is something I've talked about as well. The Pixel 4a, we talked about this, a longer lasting battery and 128 gigs of internal storage for $100 less than the 128 gig SE. So the 128 gig Pixel 4a is $350. The 128 gig iPhone SE is $450. So again, think about that as well. You're going to be paying more money if you want the same configuration for internal storage. Yes, you can buy the iPhone SE for $400, but then you're going to get 64 gigs of internal storage. So you're already getting less internal storage off the bat and you're still paying $50 more. So think about that. That's also something to really point out here. As far as the camera, the 2020 iPhone's SE camera is no slouch, and I agree, especially for the price, but the Pixel camera is very hard to beat. Also, I agree with that. While I find photos from the SE to be perfectly fine and more than acceptable for almost anyone, the Pixel 4a is still better. 100% agree. The Pixel 4a is still better. We can debate on day shots and whatever, but as far as night shots, no, the Pixel 4a, that's the iPhone SE. I already tested the iPhone SE at night. The iPhone SE is great at night, but it cannot beat the Pixel 4a at night. No way. No chance. No chance. I don't even know if I want to really dig into that. There's really no reason. So it says it has features like night. Like I feel like night sight alone on the Pixel 4a already makes it the winner over the iPhone SE. And so like shots here, it says here the 4a on the left, the iPhone SE on the right. And like we can dig down and go into it, but I don't really want to like do all of that now. Although this isn't bad. Is this the iPhone SE right here? That's not bad at all. That actually looks really good. Why? Where are the night sight shots? Okay. All right. More critically, the Pixel 4a is willing to accept slightly more noise to preserve details, while the SE can be a bit muddier on a crop. The SE also has slightly more aggressive edge sharpening for enhanced contrast and quote unquote pop. And while dynamic range on the iPhone is objectively pretty good, it's not as great as Google's 4a. The iPhone SE is simultaneously more likely to overexpose, but also crush the detail in shadows of mostly well-lit scenes that the Pixel can usually save, blah, blah, blah. That said, sometimes I find the SE picks a slightly more accurate color balance or temperature than the 4a, good to note. And in extreme low light, it turns the tables and can pull a bit more detail from shadows than Google's processing can outside the Pixel 4a's night sight mode. Anyway, so yeah, without night sight, right? And so here is the iPhone, the Pixel, and then night sight. Like I said, night sight alone already, for me, in my opinion, trumps the iPhone SE. Because for the most part, day shots, I think, are going to be very similar. And I think really the night shots are what makes the difference. And it's not like night sight is troublesome to set up. Like you hold the phone for an extra like 2 seconds or so and just make sure your hands are steady. If you don't believe me, please check out my Instagram. You can go to my Instagram at Phone Jerome. You can check. I have been posting nothing but Pixel 4a shots on my Instagram, and there's a ton of shots there, all handheld. They've all come out great. One of my favorite phones to use for a camera, and it's because the price really sets that off. Software. It says here, software. Come on, we're the Android police. I'm not going to recommend iOS over Android to our readers. We think Google's operating system is better, period. And I agree. Whether you consider us an objective source or not, there are a lot of things about Android that make it easier to do work. And we can go through all that, but like this is just something that maybe would be better saved for a separate in-depth video to really break down iOS and Android. But I don't really want to get into that right now. Price, the Pixel 4a, hands down, is the better priced phone, easily. Well, I can't even compare that. The Pixel 4a, $350, better battery, better camera, better screen. I prefer the fingerprint reader in the rear, more internal storage at a cheaper price of $350. iPhone SE, better build quality, wireless charging, IP68 dust and water resistance, obviously better performance. More expensive, less internal storage. Ooh. I have to point that out. Ernie, I just like looked real quick. Does the SE beat the Pixel in video shooting performance though? No, I'm sorry. Ernie, I'm so glad you brought that up. I don't want to take that out. No, you're right. For video, iPhone SE, for sure, hands down. So if video is important to you, I feel like I neglected that part, and that's my own fault. But Ernie, you're completely correct. In terms of video, the iPhone SE will most likely have better stabilization. I would have to test it out myself, but I can almost guarantee that in terms of image stabilization, video stabilization, the iPhone SE will perform better. At night, though, I don't know how it would perform at night compared to the Pixel 4a in terms of like quality, in terms of the video itself. I think that's something I would have to take a look at. If we were talking about like the iPhone 11 Pro or whatever, it's like, yes, then obviously, but I don't think the SE has the performance to give that kind of video quality leaps and bounds above the Pixel 4a. But in terms of video stabilization, the iPhone SE probably will have that beat. Probably in audio as well. So Ernie, thank you for pointing that out. I didn't want to neglect that, and like that literally just slipped my mind. That did slip my mind. So for people who prioritize video as well as photos, you got to think that yes, the Pixel 4a will probably give you better photos at night, but the iPhone SE will probably give you the better video experience. Better video stabilization for sure, but in terms of actual like visual video quality, I think they're going to be pretty similar. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I think that's the best way I can kind of sum that up. And I think that's it. So this article says here, so which should you buy? The iPhone SE is a very good phone at a very good price, but we think the Pixel 4a is still better. I agree with that too. I think the only time I would disagree with that is if you're big into video. And if you're big into video, then maybe the iPhone SE would be the better choice. But you'd also have to consider the fact that if you're going to buy a better video, if you're buying a phone for better video, you probably also need to buy the bigger storage option at 128 gigs for $450. And then at that point, if you're spending $450, there might be better options that you might be better off buying. Did I say that right? That sounded really wordy. Anyway, yeah. So it says here, it doesn't matter if you consider us objective on that subject or not when it comes to Android versus iOS. Other features like the lower price, doubled storage, better camera, better battery life, headphone jack, and screen all work in the Pixel 4a's favor. The SE is unarguably faster, has a physically better build with an IP rating, wireless charging, and it will get updates for a whole lot longer, which is a pretty big deal. That's another point to put out as well is, extra longer updates, 2 years more updates than the Pixel 4a. I appreciate Ernie pointing out the video thing because they didn't even talk about it here. I totally forgot about it. So also something to keep in mind. But yeah, it says here, I still prefer the Pixel 4a, and I'll be honest with you, I still prefer the Pixel 4a as well. The funny thing is when like on my other channel, I record myself eating. That's what I do on my other channel. I talk about fasting and eating, and I record myself eating food. And I tried using the Pixel 4a. I tried using the front camera of the Pixel 4a to shoot video. It was not good. I'm glad Ernie brought that up because I'm thinking about that now. And now I've been using my Huawei P40 Pro Plus. The Huawei P40 Pro Plus is pretty good in terms of video, at least I got to put these camera comparisons out. You guys you need to see those. You need to see these camera comparisons. I need to show you the quality of the P40 Pro Plus. But yeah, that's it for those stories. So it says here, that's our opinion. Your priorities may differ. And if you don't want to be forced into upgrading after 2 to 3 years, the iPhone is the only way to go. While I wish Android manufacturers didn't treat old phones as disposable and brought us updates as long as Apple does, it's not enough in our mind for the SE to beat the Pixel 4a, though it definitely comes close. But my value judgments aren't yours. Which one, quote unquote, wins depends entirely on what you're after in a phone. And I hope our comparison helps with your own decision. Fair enough. I think that was a well-written article. I think that was pretty straightforward, I don't want to say completely unbiased, but like pretty honest for what it was. All right, let me see here. I'm like looking at chat just to make sure I don't miss anything. Ernie says, in my opinion, people will prioritize overall experience or ecosystem. Most people who are iPhone users will continue to use iPhones in general. Like Brian mentioned, iMessage and use with other Apple devices. And that's very true. I mean, like, and if people don't believe that, the best way to really see if that's true is go ahead and ask your friends who use iPhones to switch over to Android. They're not going to do it. Most people don't. You might have a use case scenario where some people do, but most people who use iPhones will stay with iPhones. They're too deep into the ecosystem. They're too deep into the way the phone looks and acts and feels, and even the stigma around it. Even the stigma of owning an Android over an iPhone. Some people look at that negatively. Some people have that whole blue bubble, green bubble bullshit where they don't, you know, they don't want, like, how dare you message me and you show up with a green bubble, like you're inferior to me. Like that kind of stuff. Like that's the stigma that comes with a lot of that stuff. So yeah, I agree with a lot of those points. I know you guys have been in chat quite a bit, and like as much as I would love to talk more, I'm winded. But here's the good news, guys. Today is Monday, which means we have the rest of this week to do TNT Joe Fi. So, guys, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's longer stream. We did OT today. We did OT pretty well today. I appreciate you guys stopping by again. Please come back tomorrow right here, 2 p.m. Central. We will do it all over again. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank my new YouTube members. Do me a favor, you new YouTube members. DM me, email me, get back to me. I will send you a link to the private Discord so you can be part of that community. I'll send you the link for that. So be sure to keep in touch with me there. Otherwise, come back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central. We will do it all over again. I also want to thank all the people that super chatted today. I will make sure to add you into the intros and outros as well for the super chatters, for the new YouTube members. Thank you for being part of the Phone Jerome fam. For everybody else, thank you, hopefully, for hitting that like button. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button. I think that's all I got. If you guys haven't done those things yet, please do so. Please support me. It's a great way to show your appreciation. I feel like it's the least you can do for someone as like giving and loving as I am. I'm kidding, guys. Otherwise, that is it for today. Come back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central. We'll do it all over again. Here comes the outro music. Here is my wave goodbye. See you tomorrow, guys. Have a good one. Bye.